1 of the Australian Open is complete, and there's already been a few headlines. While the Super Bowl was going on, Naomi Osaka, Venus Williams, and Serena Williams looked very impressive in their opening round matches. Osaka was first on Rod Laver, and on paper had a very tricky opening round against Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. Pavlyuchenkova had actually reached the quarters in Melbourne for the past 2 years, so she was very comfortable. However, here the Japanese woman made her very uncomfortable, smothering the Russian, making it difficult for her to win games. Osaka breezed to a comfortable 6-1, 6-2 victory, needing just 68 minutes. Overall, it was a very measured performance from Naomi, having a +7 difference in winners and unforced errors. In her post-match on-court interview, Osaka said that she was really nervous ahead of the match, but it didn't look like it at all because she was guns a-blazing from the start. Up next, she'll get 44th ranked Caroline Garcia, who might be a bit more tricky. However, I still believe Naomi will be fine, especially if she plays like how she did in this first match. Playing simultaneously and next door to the 3rd seed on Margaret Court was Venus Williams, who squared off against the crafty Belgian Kirsten Flipkens. Venus, dealing with some birds and nerves, struggled a bit in the opening set, but eventually came through 7-5. The second set was a lot more straightforward though, as the American just took it to Flipkens for a final score of 7-5, 6-2. I'm very proud of Venus. Of course, it's incredible that at 40 years old, she's out here killing it like this, and she's actually the 5th oldest woman to win a Grand Slam singles match in the Open era. For me, Venus always had the potential to go deeper in majors, especially for the past 3 years. This victory was her first at a slam since the 2019 US Open, so you know it meant a lot for her to get this one in the bag. Up next for V is Sara Errani, who beat 30th seed Wang Xiang in 3 sets. After Venus finished, Serena took to the court and wowed even before striking the first ball. The American came out in a FloJo-inspired one-legged catsuit that got the internet buzzing. Side note, Serena is no stranger to wearing these bodysuits, but Naomi is now starting to wear them too, and personally, I'm surprised that the Japanese woman came out in what she wore. Once again, Serena is used to playing with the longer sleeves and the tights, but even still, her and Naomi's kits were interesting, especially seeing that this is the hottest slam. I think that both women pulled it off though, but it took me a while to digest Naomi's, although I really like Serena's. Anyways, going back to the tennis, Serena had a shaky start, being broken in the first game, but since then absolutely demolished her opponent Laura Siegemund. She served well, moved well, and looked overall very relaxed, which is a great sign. In just 56 minutes, Williams advanced with a score of 6-1, 6-1, and will play Nina Stojanovic next. In both Serena and Naomi's post-match press conferences, they were asked about Venus and everything she's doing at this stage in her career.
Technically, I actually interact with Venus more. And for me, I feel like I do talk about Serena a lot, but Venus is sort of the reason why Serena is where she is. So, of course, I always love to pay homage to her. But I'm being the little sister, so I sort of just like talk about Serena all the time because she's also the little sister. But yeah, I feel like whenever I see her, it's really amazing just to watch like how much she loves tennis, and I see her smiling so much nowadays, so it's really nice to see. And she just has this aura of like loving the sport and this infectious energy. So I hope that, you know, I can learn a lot from her.
She's such an inspiration because she never gets frustrated or about her situation, you know, health-wise, and she's always looking on the bright side. And so, and then she works so hard, and she, yeah, she's been great. We were hitting partners for the first 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks since we were here in Australia. So it was so good to train with her, and it was so good every day. And it was like, it's also very inspiring because she still pushes me on a level that, you know, no one's able to push me. And so it was incredibly helpful.
I like that for a change, the reporters asked Naomi about Venus instead of Serena because Venus is a great champion in her own, and I feel that she's still in the shadow of Serena, which is ridiculous, being as though She's won 7 Grand Slams and she has the legacy that she has. But still, it was great that she had those kind words to say about her. And then, of course, Serena being the younger sister, showing that admiration for big sister Venus is great. And then also how she's inspired by her was nice to see. I actually am impressed the most by Venus's performance because while Naomi and Serena did well, their opponents Pavlyuchenkova and Siegemund didn't play their best tennis at all. Flipkins provided some great variety and actually defeated Venus in the Rio Olympics in 2016, but this time Williams had the goods to close it out. Another multiple slam champ that had a strong showing was Simona Halep, who dominated Lizette Cabrera 6-1, 6-2. It seems as the back is doing okay, but it'll be tested a bit more in the second round against a much more dangerous Aussie Ajla Tomljanovic. Now, a Wimbledon champ that didn't fare so well was Angelique Kerber, who fell to American Bernarda Pera 6-love, 6-4. Kerber was actually down 6-love, 3-love, 30-15, but clawed her way back into this match and really made Pera earn it. Although Kerber was kind of at a disadvantage being stuck in the hard quarantine, I expected her to do much better than this, as she had a decent showing at the Grampians Trophy last week. Kerber has really been struggling since winning at the All England Club in 2018, not reaching a major quarterfinal since. Hopefully she can reevaluate and play that more aggressive brand of tennis again, which brought her those 3 slams. Other than Kerber, Wong, and Alison Risk, who fell to Potapova in 51 minutes, all of the women's seeds advanced. This includes comeback kid Bianca Andreescu, who returned to competitive tennis after over a year off due to nagging injuries. She overcame a surprisingly sharp Michaela Buzarnescu, winning 6-2, 4-6, 6-3. Considering it was her first match in such a while, I thought BB did very well. She moved great, served decent, used good variety, and had that trademark fight. Facing 3 consecutive break points at 3-all, she played a Kenin-esque game, hitting 3 consecutive winners to save them all. In her presser, she said that while she felt nervous and a bit overwhelmed prior to competing, she was excited to finally get back out there and is ready for the next one. That second round encounter could be tricky as she now faces Sue Shea, who dispatched of Perankova today pretty decisively. Regardless, it's just great to have Bianca back competing, and I'm hoping her body can hold up for the remaining of the event and all of 2021. On the men's side, things went for the most part as planned. Novak dominated, team came through, and all but 2 seeds advanced. Both seeds that bit the dust were Frenchmen, Benoit Paire losing to Igor Gerasimov in 4, while Gael Monfils fell to Emil Ruusuvuori in 5. Gael, who hasn't won a match since the coronavirus pandemic, was tearful during his press conference. I can understand Gael's emotions because before the shutdown he was playing his best tennis, already winning 2 tournaments in 2020. Now he's struggling to win matches, and I know that has to be hard for him. I think he'll get through this. He just needs to get those matches under his belt and regain that confidence to know that he can beat these players. Back to the things that weren't surprising on the men's tour. Alexander Zverev needed 4 sets to reach the second round, but garnered more attention about his clothes rather than his play. As I said after Oya's story, Zverev with his approach of playing the victim worked in his favor, as now the Australian Open and ATP Tour are posting him on their social medias with no hesitation. Nick Kyrgios, who might face Dominic Thiem in the third round, had a solid performance versus Federico Silva, but had an issue with someone's girlfriend being in his player box, shouting for her to be removed. Also, it seems as though the Djokovic-Kyrgios mini feud is back, after Novak in his pre-tournament interview had some interesting words to say about the Aussie in regards to his criticisms of him in the past.
And my respect goes to him, for the tennis he's playing. I think he's a very talented guy and he's got a big game. And he has proven that he has a quality to beat any player really in the world in the past. Off the court, I don't have much respect for him, to be honest, and that's where I'll close it. I really don't have any further comments for him and his own comments for me or for anything else he's trying to do.
Kyrgios today, in response to those statements, has some words of his own.
It's a strange one for me because, I read his comments. He said he doesn't respect me off the court. I'm like, look, it actually would make complete sense to me if he was like, look, I don't respect the guy on the court because I understand if he doesn't agree with some of my antics on the court that I've done in the past, and when we've played matches, I think I've been pretty good towards him, but I'm not quite sure how you can't respect me off the court. I feel like I've gone about things extremely well. You know, especially during the pandemic, driving around delivering food to people during the pandemic that didn't or couldn't get the supplies. I was extremely careful about what I was doing. I didn't want to spread the virus to anyone. You know, now I'm actually trying to donate meal kits to people that need food. I have my foundation. So it's very strange to me, like, as why he would say he doesn't respect me off the court. I actually do a lot off the court. But yeah, he's a very strange cat, Novak is. You know, heck of a tennis player, but I unfortunately, as someone that's partying with his shirt off during a global pandemic, I don't know if I can take any slack from that, man. Like, that's as bad as it gets for me.
Now, when asked if he and Nick would ever sit down and have a chat, Djokovic had a more neutral response. I really do not want to comment on that too much because that is what he's looking for, some kind of debate, attention, who knows. But I am not going to give it to him because he does not deserve it. That is it. I do not feel the need, or do I feel that we should sit and talk. I have absolutely no interest in the guy. I honestly don't know why this whole feud is still going. The Adria tour happened so long ago, and while Nick is right about what he said, I feel like he's beating a dead horse and just needs to let it go. Lastly, the match of the day between Denis Shapovalov and Jannik Sinner didn't disappoint at all, the Canadian needing 5 sets to beat the young Italian. I predicted Shapovalov to win because of Sinner just playing a tough tournament a day before this match. But with all that being said, I'm really impressed by how well Sinner played and competed. He barely missed the cutoff for being seeded, or otherwise these two wouldn't have played so soon. However, I'm very certain that this will be the last time that Jannik is an unseeded player in a slam. So that was it of my day 1 coverage of the Australian Open, and looking forward to day 2. On Rod Laver, defending champion Kenin and Nadal headlined the day session, with Barty and Tsitsipas starring in the night. Muguruza, Azarenka, and Medvedev are on Margaret Court, while Rublev and Goff are on John Cain. Let me know what you all think of everyone's play, statements, and fashion in the comment section below. And make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified when I talk about the second day of action or any breaking tennis news. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.